Electricast.
Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
On this episode of Missing the Point, we discuss an exciting week of professional wrestling as we preview WWE SummerSlam. We'll give our predictions for the biggest party of the summer. Will John Cena defeat the head of the table, Roman Reigns, to become a 17-time world champion? Will 56-year-old Goldberg defeat the Almighty Bobby Lashley? And will one of the marquee matchups between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks even take place? We'll give our predictions and discuss what could be one of the greatest weekends of professional wrestling in recent memory. This is Missing the Point.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are about to listen to the most entertaining and informative wrestling podcast out there. That is not a prediction, it is a spoiler, and this is Kayfabe Critics. Welcome in, everybody, to Kayfabe Critics, formerly TP. Shout out to Rosenberg. I am your host, Michael Marcangelo, joined alongside by the Hollywood Wale, Rayshawn Buchanan, and the EP, Craig D'Alessandro, and we are talking today about SummerSlam and about all the big news in pro wrestling. Boys, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's always good. It's a big time pay-per-view whenever we get together to do these shows. So we did this last one in April for WrestleMania, so you can go back and listen to that, even though it's outdated, but it's still a great show. But yeah, I'm excited to get into
Where can you find that, Ray?
Oh, you can find that in the show notes.
Craig, how are you feeling about SummerSlam?
It's one of the big four. I'm always excited for the big four. WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a long road to finally in front of crowds again, so I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope. That's the best part, honestly, obviously.
I think the sight of a jam-packed Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada on Saturday is going to be everything that we need it to be for a big professional wrestling event. And I want to talk a little bit about the card, and as we go through the card, I want to get your reaction. So before we go through the card, just looking at it right now, Ray, are you overwhelmed or are you underwhelmed about the presentation of SummerSlam this Saturday?
A little underwhelmed. I feel like it hasn't been really pushed the way that it has been pushed the years past, especially with it being at such a big stadium. Allegiant Stadium is huge. I don't know how many it holds. I want to say it holds at least 85,000. So, I'm sure they'll get to 90 because of how they'll fix the seating. So I feel like obviously the Cena's and Reigns matches are getting pushed, obviously, because they're both two of the bigger draws, the biggest draws in the business. Rollins and Edge to be pushed just as much because I think that's going to be a 5-star match and might steal the show, so to speak. I know we'll get into that. So yeah, but to answer your question, definitely underwhelmed with how it's being pushed, but nevertheless, as a true kayfabe critic and a true wrestling fan, I'm excited to see the card unfold on Saturday night.
And Craig, I guess just your first thoughts of this: overwhelmed or underwhelmed?
I feel like this is an appropriately length card for a big four pay-per-view, especially one in front of a crowd again. Some of the matches, obviously, we're going to get into kind of disappointing, but it is what it is for right now. They're going up against a very, very tough wrestling weekend, a tough combat sports weekend. So I feel like this is probably, given the circumstances that are currently surrounding the WWE, this is probably the best card that they can put out at this time.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, the number one match on this card from a promotion standpoint is the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief, against the 16-time You Can't See Me leader of the C Nation, John Cena. How do you all feel about this match? And before you give your predictions of the winners and loser, How do you feel like they have done in terms of promoting this match as the marquee matchup? Ray, you can go first.
Yeah, this is the head of the table, versus C Nation. Like this is hype. We've talked about this, I think, since we've been doing these type of shows the last year. Roman Reigns has been on the best run of his career. I don't really see him losing anytime soon, and they shouldn't have him losing anytime soon. Stack him, smash him, stack him, pin him, leave, walk out, Universal Champion, right? So this bloodline storyline has been amazing. Finally, they're getting something right when it comes to writing. So I don't know who's
it could get better.
Yeah, it still could get better, but I'm pleased with how I've seen them kind of build this heel character of Roman Reigns as opposed to just really just force feeding him as people felt in years past. But I'm excited to see what Cena does. I think obviously now Roman's at a point where he'll have to carry Cena. I know that's why they have him do the dark matches at the Smackdown and Raw to kind of get the ring rushed. We think that's definitely real. But I think at the end of the day, Reigns comes out victorious. I do think it'll kind of lead to a thing where we'll see Cena go for a 17th reign at some point, which I hope that would be great because they've had a great rivalry in the past. So I think that's what it will lead to. So that's what I'm hoping it goes. But I got Reigns on Saturday night.
I gotta just the whole notion that Reigns is going to carry Cena. I don't know if I believe that. I think Cena from WrestleMania 31 on proved to all of his naysayers that he can carry a match, and he's actually a great wrestler in terms of the psychology that he brings into each match. Now, obviously, like his 5 moves of doom, yeah, great. We understand that. Like the poor man's people's elbow, yeah, the 5 knuckle shuffle, it doesn't make any sense, but he can hold his own. And so Craig, what are your thoughts on the promotion of this match, and who do you think is going to win?
The promotion of this match has pretty much been exactly as I expected. At this point with Roman Reigns, it's been, probably a year at this point. We've done the head of the table gimmick, right? Maybe longer than that. And it's gone pretty much the way you would want it to go as a guy that they're pushing Roman Reigns as top guy in this company, obviously. And they have gone through the last year, maybe longer, year and a half, as Roman Reigns is unstoppable and no one else can touch him. There is nobody that you could put in WWE right now in front of Roman Reigns and credibly say, I think they could beat Roman Reigns, unless you bring somebody else in. The only people credible right now that can beat Roman Reigns are The Rock or John Cena. And Vince is going to break out his wallet in order to put as much money back in as he can. And this is going to be an absolute WrestleMania quality match between Roman Reigns and John Cena. Because as far as the build it goes, it went exactly as I thought it would be. Well, actually, that's not true. They did have that little bit in there with Finn Balor, but that's something we'll get into later, I guess. But as far as it goes, it was retro John Cena after the last pay-per-view come out and did exactly what he did. He talked smack like he does. And then Roman Reigns does what he does, does what he's been doing best during this entire, feud or career or whatever this chapter of his career is. And he's just dominating him, and he knows that he could beat anybody. And I fully expect that to be it. But I expect this to be a WrestleMania quality match between these two.
Who wins?
Roman Reigns. If John Cena wins this match, I will be shocked.
Yeah, not now anyways. He'll get to 17th at some point, but it won't be Saturday night. The only thing that I wish that they would have changed, so obviously that missionary line was gold.
Yeah.
One of the best lines I've heard of a promo regardless. It doesn't matter whatever. Like, that was beautiful. It was beautifully said. The pause, like the crowd was in. He had everyone pulled in at that moment, even after the wet chairs, right?
Yep.
The only thing I wish that would have been said, and I know this is not the Ruthless Aggression era or the Attitude era, I just wish that he said, if Cena had said, oh, so I'm missionary? Okay. Well, Roman, you must be doggy style because you're currently bending over for Vince McMahon. That would have been gold. That'd have been gold if he had said that. But unfortunately, we're in a different era. Kids have to go home happy and stuff like that. But man, that line would have went viral. I mean, the missionary line went viral. That doggy style line would have went viral too. So we definitely have our quote already. Maybe 10 minutes into the show. So this is great.
What do we think about the promo this on last week's episode of SmackDown?
Yeah, that's only that was missing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was great.
Cena said, "All I have to do is stay in there with you and beat you 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to take that title. I'm going to jump the guardrail. I'm going to run through. I may even blow you a kiss, Like, I think that was perfect. That is the perfect way to grab people, especially with everything, and we'll talk about this later, that's going on in professional wrestling right now. That shows you that Cena knows what's going on. He understands how to still stay relevant, how to make this storyline relevant.
And I do like that they're self-aware of what's going on, though. They're not playing stupid like they have in the past.
Facts.
They might be, but he isn't.
I have to think for this feud between Roman and Cena, Vince just gave them complete control, creative control. Just say, go out, do whatever you want to do. Just make me money.
But there's a few matches on this card. Like I said, Reigns and Edge, not Reigns and Edge, Rollins and Edge should be in that same category, you know. And I also love the fact that he said, you almost ruined Seth Rollins and you ran Dean Ambrose out of here. It's like, whoa. Like, I wonder how Renee found out she watched it. We know she still watches, so she might have got a good chuckle out of that one, maybe.
I think this is the first time in years that I won't be upset if Cena wins, but Roman should not lose.
Yeah, not at this time. Not yet.
Moving on, the next match on the card, as it's currently advertised, is for the Raw Women's Championship. It is Nikki ASH versus Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I want to say right now, I love Nikki's character. I think it's good that she came up with it herself. I think it's great that Vince rewarded her. I'm a Rhea guy. Rhea Ripley needs that belt for as long as possible because of the fact that we all know that Vince has these preconceived notions that if you have an accent, you can't be a number one star in terms of a promo. But she's got everything. She has the look. She looks like a badass. She can wrestle. So I hope Rhea wins. I expect Charlotte to win. But Craig, who do you think is going to win this match?
When Nikki Cross debuted this new gimmick, what was it, 2-3 months ago at this point, I just assumed that this is going to be Mighty Molly all over again, that she's just going to medal in the mid-card for the rest of her life. And then I saw her get added to the Money in the Bank match, and I figured, oh, well, they're just adding her like they added Jinder Mahal to that Money in the Bank match a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And lo and behold, she ends up winning it and cashing it in the next night and winning the Women's Championship. I didn't expect that. Nikki Cross is probably one of the greatest personalities backstage, and obviously Vince has rewarded her of this. I'm not sure about the gimmick because she keeps losing these matches, but I think that she's going to find a way to win this, beat these two. I think this is at least a hold for her for a while.
Ray, what do you think?
I don't like it. We talked a little bit about this off the air about what matches are we looking forward to, not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to. Like, I'm sick of looking at Charlotte and Rhea. I'm sick of it. Like, and once again, Nikki Cross should have won champion as her insane gimmick. That's what she should have won it as. That's what you should have did. And then maybe they could have had a little feud with Alexa Bliss. Like, that would have been crazy. Former tag team champions, best friends. Alexa Bliss turns on her. Like, there's so many other ways they could have went that it would have worked. But you make her as Mighty Molly 2.0. And, like, oh, I'm almost a superhero, and I'm now the Raw Women's Champion. Like, great. But it's like, listen, man, I love the fact that Rhea Ripley was being pushed into last year's WrestleMania when she was the NXT champion. I just think that I don't know, I feel like they're kind of burying her character too, so to speak. And I get it. They're trying to, have her go against Charlotte, because Charlotte is one of the best, if not the best, we've seen in quite some time in that division. But I don't know, man. I'm hoping that Rhea gets put over, but I also don't. If Nikki loses, I feel like that's probably the end of this character, because you can't have her keep losing on TV. The character just no longer becomes believable.
I just wish that they would, this is the tale of all this time in wrestling, right? I just wish they would stop going back to the same, performers over and over and over. I understand Charlotte Flair is who Charlotte Flair is, and Rhea Ripley is the next big thing. Mm-hmm. And there is just so much talent backstage why are they putting, and we'll get into this with Mike in a little bit, why are they putting Alexa Bliss, wasting her in a feud with Eva Marie right now, when she is probably one of the best wrestlers on the Raw roster, on the Smackdown roster, on the NXT roster, anywhere? They're just wasting her in a feud if I could swap Nikki Ash or whatever the hell her name is now out for Alexa Bliss and flip-flop them storyline-wise, I would do that in a heartbeat. Because I'm with you, Ray. I'm not feeling Nikki Ash. Maybe it'll grow on me. If it sells merchandise, if it sells things, obviously they're going to keep her exactly where they are. But I'm not feeling it like I should be.
Yeah, I'm not either, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not feeling it right. And I'm sure maybe there are some people that are thinking that it can get over, and just to get right at that opportunity to see if we can get the character over. And you're right. If it sells merchandise, same thing with the New Day, right? Remember how the New Day?
Exactly. No, I hate the New Day in the beginning.
And then the New Day, I was like, okay. I mean, I was a Kofi guy because I, had watched him with Evan Bourne and some other guys, but that original gimmick that they had was garbage, and it turned into the power of positivity, and it really just took off, right? So
throwing pancakes everywhere. When the New Day first started, I hated it. But it took like a tumor, it took a while to grow on me.
Right. Exactly. And this was one that we're glad that tumor didn't go away, because they have been awesome, one of the most decorated tag teams. But no, yeah, I mean, maybe hopefully this is the return of Becky Lynch somehow, some way. And I know, obviously she's home with the baby, and as she mentioned on Twitter at Money in the Bank, yeah, I'm at home breastfeeding, but I'm more over it than you'll ever be, even at home. So I thought that was a great jab. I think we'll get the return of Ronda Rousey at some point too. I know Lacey Evans.
Oh, not anytime soon.
No, I'm saying I hope that we can get her at some point.
At some point, I think so.
I like, so I'm a fan. I was watching some SummerSlam greatest moments before we got on, and I remember that match she had with Alexa Bliss back in 2018. And that's the same thing too, right? I'm as much as I love Alexa Bliss, I got tired of her too in that 2017, 2018 where she was dominating the women's division for that year and some change. So I mean, I know Mike, when it comes to women's wrestling, Mike is all about the blueprint, the standard. Sasha Banks, I love that she's back. And I know she's awesome. I know. No, she knows. Great. Sasha Banks, that's not where I was going with that. I'm excited to see her against Bianca Belair as well.
So that brings us to the next match that we want to talk about here, and that is the Smackdown Women's Championship. But here's the thing, man. So it's Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, against the Standard, the Blueprint, and the legit boss, Sasha Banks. Now, she is my absolute favorite from Boston, but there have been complications over the last week where they have not been able to make house shows. So my first question is going to be, let's operate under the assumption that this match actually happens. How excited are you for it? Can it top their WrestleMania match? And who wins? Ray.
So, I mean, I'm going with the EST. Like, once again, this is her time. Like, once again, Sasha will have a moment again. She'll have another run. But right now, this should be the year of Bianca Belair. Like, she came into last year's Royal Rumble in 2020.
Yep.
Dominated that one. She comes back this year. Obviously, they put her over, and she wins that event. She ends up going on to win in the main event of night one at WrestleMania. Like, she put on a hell of a show, hell of an athlete, hell of a character.
She wasn't alone. Like, she didn't put on a show. She was led in that match by probably the greatest women's wrestler of our generation.
I mean, Bianca's no slouch, but I understand what you're saying. But yeah, she's no slouch. So it's like, you can't, you have, your dance partner has to be good too. So we talk about it all the time. So she's the hell of a dance partner. Obviously it's not Sasha Bailey NXT 2015, because to me that is the standard of a women's match. It's hard to top that, or even Sasha and Charlotte at the 2016 Hell in a Cell. Hopefully I'm right on that one. I knew it was one they had so many matches, but
you are. That's lost, and she lost.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, she had the pay-per-view, always lose pay-per-views, Lord. Yeah, that is a wild streak. But no, yeah, like I said, I'm all over the place, but I feel like Bianca Belair should win. I love what she's doing right now, and I think that Sasha should continue to help put her over for now. And then, like I said, maybe they'll have their finale match at like SummerSlam or something like that.
Craig, let's assume that this match happens. How excited are you for it? Can it top Mania, and who do you think's going to win?
So, if you go back and listen to our old shows, you know that I'm not particularly the biggest fan of this feud, because I felt like it was the most vanilla feud that I had ever heard of sometimes. It was just, as far as the promos went, it was just 4 months or however long it was, is I'm the boss, I'm the best, I'm the boss, I'm the best. You're not the boss of me. No, I'm the best. It was just that, back. Once they actually got to the match, it was incredible. These are 2 of the best athletes in the WWE right now. If I was power ranking athletes right now, it would be Cesaro and then Bianca Belair.
Where does Sasha fall on that list?
She's up there. It's pure athletes.
Oh, okay.
Like deadlifting, powerlifting, whatever. Whatever. Moving on. The match from Mania was incredible, and I expect, if it happens, this to top this match. Question is if it happens.
So hold on, don't ruin the big market tease here. Who wins?
Bianca.
Okay. So before we move any further, I just want to say I am so happy. I don't know what occurred to make this happen, but Vince is finally booking Sasha the way that she deserves to be booked, because she is a top 3 talent on any roster, and she's a top 3 talent on the WWE roster. And for so long, she was overlooked. And again, in that entire 2016-2017 run, she had won 4 Raw Women's Championships. She successfully defended 0 of them.
I'm about to say, and lost them immediately.
Right. So now, at least they gave her the run that they gave her from December of last year through WrestleMania. I think a heel Sasha Banks is the best Sasha Banks, because she's allowed to say what she wants on the microphone, and the fans are still going to pop. Like, we're still all going to love her for that. So I hope, this kills me, I hope Bianca wins. But more so, I hope that the match happens. And the reason that we're talking about that is that there have been 2 house shows, one in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the other one in South Carolina, where neither Bianca nor Sasha were available. And the reason that the audience was given is that they were not there for unexpected circumstances. So, sounds like COVID, smells like COVID, although you can't smell when you have COVID. So it might be COVID. If that is the case, my question would be, what do they do here, Ray? If they don't have those 2 people there, and this has been advertised, and people will be flocking into Allegiant Stadium to see it, do you insert Becky there? Is that when you drop a big surprise?
Yep, I would tell you, I would go, whoa. Yep, come on out, Becky, come on home. Listen, I miss you. I miss the man. I can't. I'm dying for her to come back. So I think, hey, calling him, hey, get the baby a couple of bottles, put him in the backstage with Seth, have her come on out and go crazy. It doesn't have to be a match, just to say, hey, the man is back, and that could be enough fanfare as is. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I said, it's not the case, and hopefully it's something where they, I don't know what it is, but hopefully it's not tied to COVID. But I'm assuming it is, right? But I also feel that would have been out there. They would have said that by now.
Yeah,
because they talked about it with Keith Lee. They would have brought, you know what I'm saying? Like, they said about Keith Lee, so maybe it is something else. Maybe it's not.
Just to be clear, when Keith Lee had it, that's when the majority of the people out there could not get vaccines, and they were not readily available. So it was okay to promote that people had COVID. Now, with the vaccines being out there, I would assume as a publicly traded organization that they would want their wrestlers or superstars to be vaccinated. And the reason why I say this is, so you have the news of them not being at the events, and then we have other news from Dave Meltzer of Pro Wrestling Insider or wherever he says that now WWE is mandating a 24/7 mask policy. So the 2 aren't mutually exclusive. Is all that I'm trying to draw the conclusion to. Perfect scenario though, Craig. Before you go, you have Adam Pearce, and you have what is her name? It's
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, Sonya Deville, the New Jersey Devil herself, right? They come out and they say that this match cannot happen because of protocols. They really apologize, and then the man's music hits. Because I think that's the only way that you rectify this situation for the people that paid.
Right. And if she cuts her promo, there's no protocol that can stop the man. I'm back, and I'm coming back for my spot. Perfect. Leaves the ring, drops the mic.
That's right.
And then, and then boom, now we're booking for Night of Champions, whatever pay-per-view comes after that. So
just like Edge, just a short term. Like, I'm coming back for a title that I never lost.
Well, yeah. I mean, or maybe you do. Sick of the Edge, you do what you did with him a couple years ago, SummerSlam, right? Elias came out there, and then Edge's music hit in Toronto. It kind of, okay, well, could he come back? Should he come back? He looks great, so maybe that's what they do, right? She comes out, and then next thing you know, maybe she comes back in the Royal Rumble, for 2022. So, who knows? But the possibilities are endless. But at the end of the day, all 3 of us and most wrestling fans alike, most Kayfabe Critics, I'm going to keep putting that out there, keep cheap pop.
Love it.
Right here in Boston, Massachusetts. We all want, Sasha versus Bianca. That's the thing we want. So,
next thing. So I kind of jumped around because this match was just so important to me. But So we have the WWE Championship match versus the Almighty Bobby Lashley, who, by the way, I think this run is absolutely incredible, versus the 54/55-year-old
Goldberg.
So how do we feel about this match, right? And I mean, I think Bobby Lashley is going to win, but have they done a good enough job telling you that Goldberg could hold his own?
No, and I don't think they ever do that. I don't think you have to do that with Goldberg. And I feel like, and this is bad news for Bobby Lashley, I feel like...
Ray, you got pale.
I did. I love it.
I feel like this is going to be the match that opens up SummerSlam. And that is bad news for Bobby Lashley, because that means that Goldberg is coming into that ring. He is spearing Bobby Lashley. He is jackhammering Bobby Lashley, and he is leaving with that belt.
No. Do you actually believe that?
I didn't think he'd beat Brock Lesnar.
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, and he's still Goldberg.
So Craig, are you saying this is going to be Atlanta, Georgia 2.0? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean?
Remember, so he won the title in Atlanta, Georgia. Does what you said. Comes in, he spears you a couple of times. Throws a jackhammer. I promise you, there may be fans that throw stuff in the ring just like they did in Atlanta, Georgia that night. Drops the jackhammer. 1, 2, 3, and then you hear, and you're new. I really hope not, but Craig's probably not wrong. Honestly, like
I only say that because that's the way his matches traditionally go.
Okay. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath, though. What was the last match that Goldberg won, Craig?
It was probably against the Fiend at one of those Saudi Arabia pay-per-views.
Okay, yes. Again, so that was to drop the belt to Roman Reigns, who stayed home because of COVID.
Correct.
Right. So
Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman. That match. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did drop it to Braun Strowman at Mania, but that was supposed to be Roman.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Roman, yeah.
Spear versus spear. But then COVID happened, right? But aside from Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam the year before.
I forgot about that. Oh, my God.
He lost to Taker. He lost to Brock. I mean, I think he's what Paul Heyman wants and what Vince wants reportedly is to have him as like the Babe Ruth, right? To come back, make people believe, which he... By the way, for a 54-year-old, he does a really good job of that. There are very few times where he's in the ring with someone when I say to myself, I don't think he can do it. However, I think Bobby Lashley is that. Bobby Lashley should eat him for lunch. And so I think the opening match is going to be the match we're going to talk about next. But if this is the opening match, then yes, Craig, I do think Goldberg wins. So
that's so wrong. That's so bad. Like,
it's actually the worst.
No, but that booking is so bad. Like, don't, like, Vince, listen, I know you don't listen to the show, bro, but please, man, don't do that. Don't end the run like this. Like,
you don't book Goldberg to wrestle.
No, I know that, but like, don't make that the opening match. Please don't. I'm gonna be so pissed on Saturday if I hear his music drop, and I'm gonna be like, Craig, like, you bastard, like you like you did this, Craig. You spoke this into existence. I really hope I let that be the second or third match where no one's gonna remember. Like, just don't make it be the opening match, please. Vince, don't do this.
He does have the ability to make a short match memorable. I mean, his match against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble was exactly what it should be. They had all that crap that happened before the bell rang, where he spared him through the barrier cave. That was great. But at the end of the day, McIntyre's the younger, stronger guy. Something like that should happen with Lashley, in my opinion. What I would do, but they kind of ruined that on Raw, on Monday, is if you have Goldberg spear Lashley, I would have Lashley no sell it. Like, don't go down. Then what? Then what do you do? Because
spear his son.
They should have Lashley look like $1 million, because presumably he's going to lose at some point in time. Now, I personally believe this incarnation of Bobby Lashley with MVP, they have legs. He should not lose until you have the next guy, because he is the right guy to hold that belt right now.
I know. This is the thing, right? So remember when he came back in 2018?
Oh, with the headband.
Yeah, with the headband. Yeah, but I mean,
just showing his ass to everybody.
Right, but Ray basically put him to shame, talked about, oh, like, no one remembers you when you walked away, you quit 12 years ago type thing. I want to see champion versus champion at Survivor Series. So I don't want to lose to that. I'm sorry.
That's a meaningless match.
No, but I don't care. I want to see you actually change, especially when the guy, like, how they built out. What do you mean? When AJ Styles fought Brock Lesnar, did you thought that was meaningless too? That was a hell of a match.
Yeah, but that was against. All right, so AJ could have he could afford to lose that match. Bobby cannot take a pin from Roman, and Roman cannot take a pin from Bobby.
I think Bobby could take a pin.
Yeah, you get in the squad. That's fine. The bloodline could come in, and that's fine. Just the other ways to make them both look strong at the end of that. I just want to see the match happen now with them guys in the era that they're in right now. Because like I said, MVP being the mouthpiece is phenomenal. Like, I mean, this is I didn't know where he was going when he came back last year. And they started the Hurt Business. And yeah, I mean, I hated that, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin had to kind of fall by the wayside. I hated to see that part. But yeah, what he's done with Lashley over the last year has been, I mean, no pun intended, but straight gold. And, this is great. It's awesome to see.
Personally, best case scenario for me out of this is Lashley beats Goldberg handily. Next on Raw, MVP and him cut a promo about how there's just nobody left for him to beat. He's beat everybody. And then you hear Brock Lesnar's music hit. And now it's on. Now, I would still have Brock lose, by the way. But that, I think you can sell that. Those are two legitimate MMA fighters, wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers. That's what you want to see.
There's no way Vince has Brock come back to go to lay down. No way.
He brought Brock back after 8 years to lay down to Cena.
That's different. Lashley ain't Cena. Cena is the.
You make Lashley Cena though. This is it.
Yeah, but he's not. Lashley's like in his mid-40s. You're not looking to make him Cena at this point. Look, I'm sorry. Sorry for the younger fans that think that Lashley is a lot younger. He's been around. He was the ECW champion. He was around at WrestleMania Freaker 22. Watch that match with Vince, the hair versus hair with Donald. Like, listen, he's been here for a long time, okay? Sorry to burst that bubble. Sorry to break the kayfabe. Whoops. So how's Cena said? See your fourth wall, but yeah, you're not looking to make him that guy. Like, this is no different than what we saw in 2017 when Jinder Mahal became champion, right? This is a better run than Jinder's, in my opinion, but that's a whole nother subject for another day. But yeah, so I don't know, but I think, yeah, there's no way that Brock comes back to lay it out. Not right away anyways. Like, that wouldn't be, I think that they would have a feud going back and forth that led into WrestleMania the next year.
The match that I think is going to open the show is the match we should talk about next, which I think, just based in WWE storytelling, aside from Roman versus Cena, I think it's going to open the show. I think it's the best story that's been told. It's Edge versus Seth Rollins. I think this match not only has the ability to be the match of the night, it can steal the show. I don't think it would be surprising if this was the best wrestling match of the night. But here we have the rated R superstar Edge, who's fresh off. I think that this run over the last 2 years has been exactly what he needed it to be. No one questions his ability to work. It's still believable. And then this Seth Rollins feud, you can always tie back to 2014 when he was standing over him and Cena had to reinstate the authority to power, or Seth said he was going to stomp on his stack of dimes neck. So if again, Edge doesn't need he does not need any more victories. In reality, he's already a Hall of Famer, right? So he doesn't need to win. If I'm booking this match, I have Seth Rollins cheat to win, but Seth Rollins goes over. Craig, what do you think?
I think that this match has been a very, very appropriately booked.
Yep.
Seth Rollins thought he almost guaranteed himself that he was going to win Money in the Bank. He didn't end up winning it. And then he goes for the next guy who he felt took his spot, just coming for Edge. And I felt like out of all of these matches, every single one of them, I don't care from championship to the mid card or to the lower card, this has probably been the best booked or built match out of all of them. It's just traditionally booked very well. And I'm very happy about that.
Who wins?
I'm going to say Seth Rollins. I'm going to say Seth Rollins wins this. Even though I think Edge needs to win more, I still think that Seth Rollins ends up winning it.
Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it like Tony Chimel, but I'm going with the Rated R Superstar. That was awesome at Beth Phoenix's speech when he came and did. That was great. But sorry, that was awesome. No, but no, I mean, but you know why it was appropriately booked, Craig? Like, there's something different about those Attitude Era guys. They know how to build a story.
Yep,
they just do. So the intense look in the eye for a promo, him letting Seth get his stuff in, say it out, and then say it back, like that, to me, that's how you build. So Edge knows how to tell a story. Cena knows how to, like, those guys in the era know how to tell a story. And then Seth Rollins just happens to be one of the newer guys that knows how to tell a story too. So that's why it comes together perfectly. And I mean, Seth Rollins has been the standard for opening matches. So I feel like you better have a damn good match after that if they do open it. Because when he opens up a match, it's been a classic. I mean, I know he didn't open at 33. That was him with the Triple H, but
he opened at 31.
He opened at 31. That was a hell of a match. When he opened up in
39.
But also 34 though, when he won the Intercontinental Championship, won the Grand Slam title. I know if I was there and it was crazy. The crowd went nuts.
Oh, then he also number 35 too.
Oh yeah, Brock. Yeah, against Brock. Yeah. So yeah, he delivers opening matches. So you better have a damn good follow to that if that's the case, because he's going to deliver. So is Edge. But I mean, I'm going with the Rated R Superstar. Not because I think he needs to win. I just think that Edge gets put over, and we'll still have a few going on with them for the next few months, and then it may be concluded at the Royal Rumble.
Next match. I mean, I think that this match is going to be a great one. But I think it's okay. So it's the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. It's the Usos versus the Mysterios. The problem here is I love the Usos. I love this incarnation of the Usos. I mean, you're a terrible person if you don't like Rey Mysterio. And Dominic has done everything that he needs to do to prove that he belongs in that ring. So I think this should be a great tag team contest. The scary part for me, though, is that Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling anymore. I don't think that he loves it. I don't think he cares about it. If they give this 15, 16 minutes, it will steal the show. But I think that the Usos need to retain their titles because the bloodline storyline of them having all the belts going into what I think will be The Rock coming in at Survivor Series, they need to have the most momentum possible. So my hope is that the Usos win, but it's hard for me to root against Rey. Craig?
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. This is pretty much, as far as the bloodline story, I don't see them changing them much. The Mysterios thing was good. It had a lot of legs, especially that Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns in Hell in a Cell. I enjoyed that. That was good. But as far as this match goes, I don't really. It'll probably be a great wrestling match. It'll probably be fun to watch, but I think the outcome's pretty much baked into the pie at this point. I don't see the Usos losing this one even close. Maybe some false finishes, of course, but I think, heading into next year's WrestleMania, the road's already paved.
So go with me here for a second. I'm going to say something kind of wild. What if Dominic's the reason? Oh, no, not Dominic. Sorry, that Rey is the reason they lose the match, and Dominic turns on him after.
I think that would be great.
I'm here for that.
I think that would be phenomenal. We saw Father Something, obviously, with Vincent and Shane back in the early 2000s. I think that would be phenomenal.
The problem here, though, is not to cut you off. Dominic can't, as we currently have seen it, he can't talk.
No.
So if you're going to be a heel, you have to have at least you have to have a manager, or you have to be able to do work on the stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dominic would have to be the heel in that story, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like, from stuff with Eddie and Vicky and Mom and Aaliyah, there's so many things that they could kind of pull from that. And, you not being there and, I'm better than you'll ever be type thing. And, that there's so many things they can go with. I would love to see that. But yeah, he would have to get better on the mic. I was just thinking from a pure wrestling standpoint.
Yeah.
That's why I don't always think about the mic, but I understand. That's why Randy Orton was kind of put on the back for a while, because Randy wasn't always the greatest on the mic.
Yep.
Except for the last 2 years that he said on Stone Cold Rubber Skull session. But yeah, so I mean, that would be great. But yeah, the Usos should definitely win. premiered for the Uso Penitentiary. Even though that's not what they're going by now, I know, but I still think of the Dow says day one. I actually need to get me a t-shirt because I love that. I didn't know that they've been had that music for about 4 or 5 years now. I didn't think it was that long, but I just saw their match with the New Day from SummerSlam 2017. And I hope we have a segment about favorite matches too, because if not, I'm gonna bring it up. But the Uso, great, perfect. So the Uso should definitely go over. Like I said, you got to keep them like the Evolution thing back in 2003, right? Everyone got to leave with the gold. It's a different thing. It's different storyline, but you got to walk away with the gold. You got to show who's boss and who's on top.
Playing off of what you just said, there is a way to make this work that could tie in a couple years worth of storylines. So let's say that Seth and Edge open the show, right? And let's say that because they planted the seed on SmackDown either last week or a couple weeks ago, where Ray was yelling at Dominic to pay attention, and Dominic still won. What if Ray pushes him and says, "You're not ready," and then we get a backstage clip of Dominic talking to Seth? Because that's gold right there. That can reignite the entire storyline from when Seth blinded Ray last year, and now we could get Dominic versus Ray at some point in time. I think that's the way out if they want to do it. Ray wouldn't be a heel in that situation. He'd be a stern father, like scolding his son, like telling him to keep his eyes open. And Dominic could still play the, I know what I'm doing. He doesn't believe in me. And Seth says, I believe in you.
Oh, I like that devil's advocate part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, man. Listen, I mean, if you're listening, man, like, listen, you got 3 guys here that can write for you on the spot. You're talking to Attitude Era fans, grew up in the best era of wrestling outside the 80s in the NWA. Shout out to Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair. But yeah, that's perfect booking. And like, we know what we're talking about. We know what the fans will want because we're fans ourselves, right? So, Kayfabe Critics, baby, we're here to stay.
So there are a few matches here on the card that I think are meaningless, that Ray said would be good matches. We'll go through them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them.
You just talked about one.
But I love both of those guys. You had the U.S. Championship, Sheamus versus Damian Priest. I love Sheamus. I thought that his match, I think that he and Drew McIntyre should have a real feud at WrestleMania, because their match was it Fastlane? That their match in the Thunderdome was unbelievable. That was WrestleMania worthy. I think Sheamus is at the top of his game. Damian Priest is a good hand. I don't think he's great on the mic. I think it'll be a good match, but I don't particularly care about it. I hope that Sheamus wins, right?
Yeah, listen, I'm a big Damian Priest sold me at WrestleMania. Sold me. I'm over. Like, I saw a little bit of NXT, but I'm like, when I saw him at WrestleMania with Bad Bunny against Miz and John Morrison, I was like, okay, this guy, he has it. And I keep going using references from the old school, but how perfect would it be? Because it seems like he has this type of character. Can we make a new Brood type character with him being the leader? I think that would be awesome. I don't know who they put with him. I have no idea who they put with him, but I think him being the leader, like a new Brood type thing, I think that would be crazy. And once again, Michael Hayes is still there. He's the originator. Like, hey, Mike, talk to him backstage about what worked with the Hardy Boys or what worked with Gangrel and Edge and Christian. Like, that to me would be phenomenal. And Damian Priest kind of reminds me of a young Edge as well. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's why. So yeah, and once again, Sheamus is a hell of a worker too. So why wouldn't it be a good match? Like, is it going to be the best match on the card? No, but am I going to be entertained by it? Because I think Sheamus is a great worker, and I'm a fan of what Damian Priest has done so far. I think in projecting what he'll do in the future. So I think it's going to be a good match. Obviously, not going to steal the show, but something I'm going to be not going to grab my popcorn or go and get water or going to the bathroom. They'll probably do it at Allegiant Stadium. So I'll be locked in. And, since you asked me who's going to win, if you didn't ask me, I'm going to answer. I got Damian Priest going over.
Craig?
You used to win.
This Sheamus United States Championship run has been so oddly booked, because I've been watching it since the beginning, and I understand he got injured, but it's just been so weirdly booked. He tried to do the United States Championship thing like John Cena did a number of years ago. That didn't end up going his way. He kept on facing the same guy over and over and over, and it just didn't go. And then just to insert Damian Priest, who I love, who I think is going to end up winning this match, because Sheamus has done nothing with that title. I think Damian Priest could do more with it. It's just been a weird feud. And you had Damian on that thing with the Miz on Monday. Then suddenly, he's facing Sheamus this week. for the championship. It's just been weirdly booked. I expect it to be a good match, but I think Damian Priest takes it and actually does something with that belt.
I do think that it is WWE's fault that we feel this way, that I feel this way about Damian Priest, because they booked him into an oblivion with that fucking zombie thing at WrestleMania Backlash. That was terrible. No one should ever have to do that.
It was the match that they did in NXT between Dexter Lumis and...
Yeah, except Vince made $1 million off having the zombies because of the paid partnership with Batista's new movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Next match, McIntyre versus Mahal. We get 2 out of the 3 members of 3MB battling each other. Does anybody care about this match? And is there any reason as to why McIntyre should not win? Ray?
So you got me. I don't care about this match. You're right. I don't care. I don't. But Drew McIntyre has won me over. I wasn't a fan when he came back a few years back after, I know he had his match at WrestleMania 35 against I guess Roman Reigns, but yeah, this run from 2020 to now, winning the championship a few times, and he's gotten better on the mic as well too, and made his character a lot more believable. It really does now look like the chosen one. Yeah, like I said, I don't care for the match, but Drew should be the guy that goes over. I actually want to see another run at some point. I think he was that good a champion last year. Him and Randy had a great feud. I wasn't here for him and Lashley, although they were great dance partners, but yeah, I'm here for Drew winning on most occasions, but I'm here to see him win on Saturday.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I said Drew McIntyre did great at the top of the card, but for a guy like him, he can only be up there for so long before it just kind of gets stale. And, Mike was talking earlier, Vince and his accents, he doesn't love people at the top of accents for that long. So he needs a little trip to the mid card. He's going to face Jinder Mahal, I assume, longer than this match. I assume this feud will go on for a couple more months. I actually think Jinder Mahal will win this match just because I assume there will be some kind of shenanigans and Drew McIntyre will probably chop somebody up with a sword. But this match does nothing for me. It's a standard mid-feud wrestling match.
I hate that you're right, so we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Raw Tag Team Championship, AJ Styles and Omos versus RK Bro.
Oh,
I love Randy Orton and Riddle. Matt Riddle is his name. But I love their pairing. I think they're perfect with each other. So I love AJ Styles. Anything he does turns to gold. He was put in a bad position back at WrestleMania 33 against Shane. Nobody thought that match was going to be worth anything. And they stole the show that night. They stole the show in Orlando.
Bad match that Shane had at WrestleMania.
He hasn't.
Right. So to say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
because it wasn't a no holds barred match, it was a regular wrestling match. So they put those two in the confines of a regular. He couldn't go. He could have been counted out. He could not jump off the Titantron, jump off the stage. Right. But even in those confines, they still had a hell of a match. Everything AJ does turns to gold. I think this match could be great. I'm pulling for Arcade Bro. Right.
Yeah, I am too. Omos has gotten considerably better from what we saw even at WrestleMania. He moves a lot quicker. Honestly, this is where the old school theory with big men in WWE, because Undertaker says it, Kevin Nash says it. You could tell that they've been embedded in their brains that less is more. I think Omos is kind of like how Big Show was back in the day.
Yep.
I think he could drop kick. I think he could jump over stuff, but they're just less is more. Move slow. Don't go too fast. Same thing with Braun Strowman too. But I think he's even more talented than what Braun Strowman was. And that's saying, but I like Braun Strowman, but I think he could do more than what Braun Strowman was doing, right? So, AJ Styles, you can't help but, get something from AJ being there next to him, driving with him on the road, doing stuff with him in the Thunderdome. They definitely became, Vince was right to put Omos with him for the time being. So Vince did Omos a solid one there in that regard. But it's time. It's time, brother. It's over. It's time. Let the Arcade Bro. They can go on a serious run. I feel like I know Randy Orton definitely is someone that likes to do stuff alone, but it's just something special when he gets together with certain tag teams. I didn't care for Legacy as much. That was more of a little faction, but that was Cody and DiBiase's son. I'm like, all right, whatever. All right, and it was a $1 million dream there. Whatever, fine. It was more like $1 million nightmare. Anyways, in my opinion, outside of the feud they had with Vince and Triple H. But yeah, this
that was a gold nugget in a pile of crap.
the home invasion aspect of that was
it was phenomenal, right? But I'm saying like that. But I think that like you said, they have something there with Riddle and him, and it's the perfect blend. It just makes me think maybe they should do something with Rob Van Dam back in the day, but we'll just well, he did do something with Kane, but that's a whole different character. But
he also put belts on Rob Van Dam in 2006, and then he got pulled over with pills in his car. So like he did.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he stole the whole damn show. But he was one of my favorites. But anyways, but we can do that's another time, another show. But yeah, RK Bro should be put over. I would love to see him go on Elevator Run as tag team champions and just see different vignettes they're gonna do with having them as champions. And Brandy, I miss you, bro. It's like it's so good. It's perfect. It's great.
I also believe right before you go, Craig, that if they do this properly, they should have Riddle turn heel on Randy Orton.
Oh, for sure.
That should be the move to plays into next WrestleMania, because Randy can do anything and no one's going to expect Riddle turning heel on him. So that's what I would do. But in this match, in this context, Craig, who do you have? Who do you want?
Well, the supposed long-term booking of this is Randy Orton and Riddle being a tag team for a rather long time. So I totally expect that, based on what we just saw, you can't tell me what we saw based on Monday and in the week before that they're going to do that and not have them walk out of SummerSlam tag team championships. I think as far as Omos and AJ Styles goes, that's a good feud right there for them that they could possibly do. Omos, the criticism of him was he was super green and he was a bad talker. He's looked better since WrestleMania. I think that could be a good feud. Maybe not necessarily AJ Styles versus Omos, but that's a good feud in the making right there. But I do think at the end, there's no conceivable way that I can imagine Randy Orton and Riddle not walking out with the tag team champion.
So I think what happens, so to add on that, Craig, I think that's a good idea. It's almost like you're a longtime wrestling fan.
Then Stone Cold pulled a gun on Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring.
Right, exactly. Bang,
I thought he was really going to shoot him.
I did too. I think that they should be champions up until the Royal Rumble, right? They both go Royal Rumble match. Riddle actually eliminates Randy Orton, right? They drop the titles maybe the next night, whatever, maybe next pay-per-view. And then that's when you charge them. They build, bro, I thought you were X, Y, and Z. Bam, hits him with the slipper, whatever, as he jumps off. And the next thing you know, that sets up for WrestleMania, Riddle versus Randy Orton. Now they told a hell of a story. I think that would be perfect, honestly. So hopefully it happens.
We have two more left of the card. We have Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. I think Lily's going to interfere in this match. I don't think it's going to be anything. Alexa should win.
So bad.
Yeah, so bad.
I don't think there is going to be a winner in this match.
Well, the fans will be losers, I promise you.
Yeah.
Should we spend any more time on this?
No. Next.
Me and Ray were talking about this earlier. Alexa Bliss is the position that Nikki should be in right now.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Yeah, they gave someone else's gimmick to somebody else. You're right. Yeah, this is Bray Wyatt's gimmick. Now, the next match has not been confirmed yet, but is rumored to be confirmed this week, is Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. If this happens, I don't know, it's not confirmed yet, but let's just say that it does. I love both of them, but I really love, talk about making chicken salad out of chicken shit. Baron Corbin has done so well with this whole gimmick about losing all of his money because he's no longer the king. I think it's actually entertaining. They're in a tricky spot here, which is not unbecoming of WWE. They always put themselves into a corner where they have someone returning to the main roster that needs a win, like Finn Balor, against someone like Baron Corbin, who is hard pressed he needs a win too. I would pick Baron Corbin in this instance. Real quick, lightning. Ray, who do you got in this match? If it happens.
Well, it will. I'm going to go with Baron Corbin. I just think like I said, he definitely needs it more to Finn's fan base. I went nuts when I saw him come back. So Finn's going to be fine. He can win another pay-per-view on Raw or SmackDown, whatever show he chooses to be on. Like that to me, is fine. But yeah, gun to my head, as you always say, gun to my head. I'm going with, he should go back to his gimmick at some point. I'm going with the Lone Wolf, Baron Corbin.
This is going to sound weird, but I think Baron Corbin needs to loss more. I think
And it's the concept might work
in this feud right now. It's just pure comedy gold, and that's where it is right now. Maybe I think that where they're kind of going with this, based on last Friday night SmackDowns, they're kind of going with the feud between him and Big E, and I don't like Baron Corbin. I hated the lone wolf gimmick. I hated the authority Baron Corbin. Just watching Baron Corbin just groveling at people's feet for $100,000 or whatever, however much, has just been so entertaining. And Vince knows a good actor.
Imagine like asking, just really casually asking, hey, who got
$100,000 to him to do that?
I'm like, it's like, really, sir? But shout out to my boy Kem. I forgot about this storyline back in the day. He said this current Baron Corbin storyline reminds me of what happened with Tim White years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I forgot about that.
Yeah, minus the suicides, but yeah,
right, right. So I said, oh yeah, I forgot about that completely. But yeah, that was hilarious.
Him taking a bath with a toaster was one of the best things that WWE.com ever put out. I mean, it was hysterical. So
that's not why. That's not why. But
before we move on to some other wrestling news,
I love it.
I owe it to all of our listeners and to the panel here that we have tonight, just to talk about the greatest SummerSlam matches of all time in their minds. Can I go first?
I mean, we already know what your pick is, so you should go last.
Okay. All right. So Ray, you go first.
Yeah, we know. I probably know what two new matches you pick. Anyway.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. It's not a prediction, it's a spoiler, right? I'm gonna go with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He was Triple H by then, but Triple H and The Rock 98 SummerSlam ladder match for the IC title. That match was phenomenal to me.
Quite possibly the worst ladder match in WWE history. But
that's fine, but I enjoyed it. Mark Henry and China was involved in it on the sidelines, and it was real to me, damn it, and I enjoyed it. I still enjoyed that match. I was glad that Triple H went over, but I was Triple H guy at that time. And like I said, that propelled kind of both of them into, they was kind of mid card both at that time, and then they kind of rose to superstar right shortly after that. And then another match for me, I think we brought this guy up before, but I'm like, he's no longer alive and he's not able to be mentioned on the WWE Network. But 04. We'll just say I liked when Randy Orton became the youngest world champion.
No, say we're not on the WWE Network on Peacock.
Okay, got you. Okay, so when he defeated Chris Benoit at SummerSlam 2004 to win the world championship was one of the coolest matches I've seen. I mean, then one more from you. This wasn't a great match. Was done the Triple H return SummerSlam 07, him against Booker T, the King Booker gimmick. It was cool. Yeah, squash match. Yeah, but which that always happens with them too. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But those are a few matches that come to my mind. There's more, but I'll kick it over to Craig.
Okay, Craig.
So I have these. I believe there are two. I believe Brock Lesnar versus John Cena squash was a SummerSlam match, right? Yep, that was amazing. That was amazing because everyone was expecting that to be a wrestling match. Everyone was expecting to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, and it was just going to be a phenomenal wrestling match. Turns out John Cena got destroyed, and it was so nice to see because John Cena was at the height of his douchebaggery at that point, and it was just so nice to see him swatch. Other one, 1998, Highway to Hell, SummerSlam, Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Loved it.
I mean, the spot of the leg drop off the turnbuckle to the table, that was excellent. Okay, so mine, I think Ray knows this. You might know it too, Craig. My number one greatest SummerSlam match of all time is 2002. It is the return of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. 4 years gone, an unsanctioned fight.
Oh yeah, that was a jeans fight, right?
He's walking through the curtains in jeans, and Arn Anderson says, this isn't like riding a bike. Then he goes out to have a 43-minute long match with Triple H where he does all the most insane shit. And on the way back through the curtain, Arn Anderson said, well, I guess it is like riding a bike for you. 4 years gone. That's number one. Number two, I have three. 2013, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. Go back and watch that. The story that they told with Heyman being the enemy, like the guy for both of them, that was at the end of Punk's run in WWE. But that match was absolutely incredible. And the third one, Trish versus Charlotte.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
that's not where I thought she was going. But okay,
if you don't recognize the level of just how great Trish Stratus truly is for her to come back in 2019 and put on, again, you have to have a great dance partner, and Charlotte is that. But after, what was it at that point in time? Was it 13 years since the last time she had a singles match at WWE?
She retired young.
Okay, 2006.
Yeah.
To take care of her mom.
Only in her mid-30s, I think.
Yeah, took care of Mickie James too.
Yep. But in Toronto, that match was incredible. And just middle of the match, when you hear the crowd chant, "You still got it," and she takes a bow to them. That's what wrestling is all about in its purest form.
Right.
It's moments like that. So before we wrap up, we are all WWE loyalists. We admit that. We would be hard pressed to close this show without talking about the fact that there is a real possibility that SummerSlam is not the biggest event of this week, never mind the summer, because All Elite Wrestling, AEW, is running an event in Chicago on Friday, their second episode of Rampage, and CM Punk is rumored to show up. So my question would be, does this overshadow SummerSlam? And how big of an impact do you think now in 2021 can CM Punk have in the wrestling landscape? Ray, you go ahead.
So, I mean, I've been clamoring for CM Punk to come back into wrestling, period. Like, it didn't matter what avenue it happened. So it could have been Impact. It could have been Ring of Honor. It could have been whatever. It could have been WWE, whatever, right? He still would demand, he still would be a draw. He's still a draw. Like, hey, he's been gone for 7 years and people still hijack the show and yell, CM Punk. Like, I listened to Cult of Personality on the regular, and I didn't even know what the hell Living Color was before that was the theme song. But I listened to that group just because of him. So it's just like he's awesome. Like, he's everything. Like, he's the anti-Cena, he's the anti, establishment, so to speak. So that's what made it work for him. Does it overshadow him? No, it doesn't overshadow. Listen, man, until we get a point like it was in the mid-90s where AEW is taking over, ratings weeks or taking over pay-per-view buys or whatever you want to call it, ticket sales. Like, they're not on WWE's level. Like, they've been around for too long at this moment. So it would be a nice story. We'd love to see CM Punk come back. To me, it's a little oversaturated over there at AEW, but once again, I sound like a WWE lawyer as opposed to just a wrestling fan in general. But yeah, I would love to see CM Punk come back into the ring and, go against someone like Orange Cassidy or MGF or who knows, maybe another even, him against the Painmaker.
It's got to be Darby Allin.
Yeah, but to me, it should be Orange Cassidy or Kenny Omega. That's just me. That's what it should be. Because that's what his name demands you to put him against that type of talent. Like, not to say that Darby Allin is not to the hits, but Orange Cassidy, who I think is he might be top 10 in the business, regardless of where he's at. And then, obviously, he had that feud with Jericho at WrestleMania 28, but, obviously Jericho will come back as the Painmaker. There's different ways to kind of put that in there. So yeah, I would like even MGF. That would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Anything with those guys would be gold. So yeah, like I say, it doesn't overshadow, but I hope he does come back, and I welcome him to come back because that means there'd be more competition. So I'm here for it.
Greg, as someone who has readily admitted that he doesn't watch much of AEW, knowing the fact that AEW has now garnered a million viewers for a pretty regular standpoint on all of their shows, they're being really smart, and they are not running directly opposite of WWE programming, which will make it hard to have a ratings type war like they did back in the 90s. What does the signing and the prospective appearance of Punk on Friday mean for the landscape of professional wrestling, knowing that Brian Danielson's not far behind?
Can I take it even further than that?
Do whatever you want, dude.
I think that this week in wrestling, this particular week in wrestling, maybe last week, if you include last week as well, has been probably one of the biggest indicators that it is a problem, and it has been a problem in professional wrestling for a while. And that is that they rely way too much on nostalgia. You look at AAA wrestling this past week in Mexico, Ric Flair. Sting is wrestling on TNT on Wednesday. Christian is now, is he the AEW champion or the Impact?
No, he's the Impact champion.
I'm sorry, that was awesome. That
was that amazing match.
That was awesome.
Yeah, but it's not building. But it's saying that these companies are still relying on older talent that have not been around for a while. And people love nostalgia, but it just proves that they're not able to make new draws. So it's still a problem. It's not a bad problem, but it's still a problem.
But isn't Punk the wrestling comparison to Barry Sanders in the NFL? He left too early.
Yeah.
At some of the height of his powers, hasn't done anything. And now he's come back and
he's done plenty. He hasn't done it well.
Some movies, that's fine. But in terms of professional wrestling, and I think your nostalgia thing is a real problem. I think WWE does it wrong. I think if you bring back nostalgia acts to better the talent that's currently there, like, yeah, Christian won the Impact World Championship. That's great. Well, what matters more is who he drops the belt to and how it's done.
Yeah.
Right. So if Punk comes back and makes people on that roster better, you're all for it. Right. That's why you bring The Rock back. The Rock has no need to wrestle John Cena in 2012 and 2013. I watched it. I watched both of them because in 2013,
it's really 3 if you count the tag team match.
Yeah. But again, you watch that and it makes it like, again, Shawn came back after 4 years. 4 years. Now.
No, but that was passing up the torch though. Like, same thing. Hogan didn't need to fight The Rock either in 2002.
He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to be a face. Remember that?
No, yeah, right. But I'm saying, but still, like, he didn't need to face The Rock. Like, Hogan was already beyond legendary. The Rock was on his way.
He also wouldn't he wouldn't do the job for Austin.
Right.
Hogan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, well, maybe he saw that The Rock was a better draw. Who knows? I don't know. But I mean, that I obviously we know Stone Cold was the biggest draw ever, and really wrestling history. It's not even close, probably. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, CM Punk, it's a great comparison about the Barry Sanders. I mean, for those that know, maybe, a Calvin Johnson type thing too, because he also walked away early, so it must be a Midwest thing. So, but yeah, I mean, listen, if CM Punk comes back and he fights, certain guys, I mean, like I said, like I said, I keep bringing up Orange Cassidy because I just like him. Him against MJF would be great. But back, like I said, with Christian, but yeah, Craig, you're right though, man. Nostalgia definitely is. The nostalgic act has to stop. But once again,
it's not going to stop as long as it keeps making money.
Right. But also if you can't put over certain stars because fans, once again, if they listen to the crowd, if the crowd is not feeling certain wrestlers, so yeah, what are you going to do? Like, I think about, remember that? I mean, it was more of a comedy thing, but I remember when Heath Slater was coming out week after week on Raw.
Against Legends, yeah.
And all the Legends kept coming back. Like, and I mean, truth be told, that was the way to put Heath Slater over. And it didn't work.
It never won, but yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work, but it was cool to see Lita. It was cool to see APA. It was cool, it was cool to see those people come back, every now and then, City, yeah, wow, man.
WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, WrestleMania 1. Woo, that was crazy. So, yeah, so I don't know, man, but, to go back to your original question, Mike, because we went left, right, up, down, it doesn't overshadow what's going on. WWE is still king, and if SummerSlam does what they need to do, we won't be talking much about what happened with AEW. We will because we're wrestling fans, but not the casual person will be talking about what happened.
My last question would be, given that AEW's ticket sales have been better than WWE since they've been allowed to have fans back, they sold out, I think it was the US Open Arena in New York City, and they sold a lot of tickets for all their New York City shows, and WWE cannot sell out at MSG. My question to you, Ray, is AEW a viable alternative for wrestling fans right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, will it last? Because once again, TNA had fell off. Impact fell off for a while. Like,
to your point, though, before you go down that road, Tony Khan has more money than Vince does. That has not happened since WCW.
Right, but Ted Turner had more money as well. And look what happened. Like, Kevin Nash, the Scott Hall said it best. He said WWE is a television place that does a wrestling company that does television, and the WCW was a TV that did wrestling. So that's what might be happening down in AEW. And eventually they're gonna have to do these bigger tours. Like if that fan base is growing like that, you can do more than the All-State Arena, which I know that's a hot spot for wrestling. But
United Center, they sold out. They sold out the United Center.
Okay, great, but that's sort of, that has to keep happening, then, right? So, and I know they can't do the Garden because I know that's only exclusive to WWE. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely viable because the talent they have there, right? So, I know like Mark Henry and him going over there. Big Show's now over there. But yeah, it does look it does look a little bit like WCW in the sense that they're bringing in their version of Randy Savage's, the Hulk Hogan's, the Roddy Pipers. Like they're doing that, which is older because Chris is older, Jericho's older, Mark Henry's older, Big Show's older. So it's not like, not getting, they're bringing them on as, as they announced the team or they're on the sideline. It's like, I don't know. So to me, they are mimicking what, and they're on TNT, so mimicking what Ted Turner them did. So they may get to a point where they surpass WWE in the ratings or ticket sales or whatever. But we know ultimately, when Vince or Triple H or whoever, it's like they get into their really creative mode as we saw during the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. There's no one that can mess with WWE. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Also, I think it is worth noting that AEW is different in the sense, and I think that they're smart in the sense that they're not trying to divide the audience because they know that it's not what it used to be. They're not trying to go head to head with them. So they're going on.
For now.
WWE tried to take them on with NXT and they got their asses whooped. So yeah, I think for the first time, they're all, wrestling is cyclical. There are these things in wrestling that happen over and over again that make you think, well, we could be on the verge of this. I think this is the most interesting time in wrestling since 2011, which was the summer of Punk. I think him walking away out of the Allstate Arena with that belt when we didn't know if he had signed a contract, that was amazing. Now WWE shot themselves in the foot as always by bringing him back in 2 weeks to have him wrestle against Cena at SummerSlam, only to lose because of Kevin Nash, another nostalgia act, and Alberto Del Rio. But they got it right. I think the more viable wrestling shows out there, the better for all of us, especially us doing this podcast.
Facts.
So that will do it for the inaugural episode of Kayfabe Critics, formerly Cheap Heat. I am Michael Marcangelo, joined by Rayshawn Buchanan, Craig D'Alessandro. Thank you so much for listening. Let's go enjoy SummerSlam.
Welcome to the Reverie Channel, where entertainment knows no bounds. Live concerts, on-demand music, documentaries, and short films, all in stunning HD. Now on Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Immerse yourself from home. And on Android and iOS for those on the move. Support creators with crowdfunding donations. Fuel their creativity. Join us in shaping entertainment's future. The Reverie Channel, where every view, every donation matters.
Step inside the marketing mirror to uncover marketing secrets, discover gems, tactics, lessons, and campaigns you can use, next gen or fundamentals. Grab the marketing magic to improve your marketing and win more business.
Electricast.